There's a new video this morning that some say may be proof we're not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. There you see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
Jerusalem 2011. A glowing orb descends over the world's most sacred sites, the Dome of the Rock, from multiple angles and from multiple witnesses.
Look at it. We've seen them in Mississippi like this. They've never like. Yeah.
But was this a genuine extraterrestrial encounter, or one of the most elaborate hoaxes of our age? For the first time in over 15 years, we bring brand new, never seen before video and audio evidence. Stay tuned and let's unravel the truth. To understand why this location is important, we need a little understanding of its history. At the heart of Jerusalem lies Temple Mount, one of the most contested and sacred places on earth. Tradition holds that King Solomon built the first temple here nearly 3,000 years ago, designed to house the legendary Ark of the Covenant. You know the one. The temple was destroyed, rebuilt and eventually replaced by the magnificent Dome of the Rock in the late 7th century under Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik. The dome itself is instantly recognisable with its golden crown, but here's the thing, while the structure dates back to the 7th century, the golden shrine we see today is quite modern. The dome was actually restored in the 20th century, and in 1993 it was re-gilded with 24 karat gold to show off its glory we see today. Built over the foundation stone, this site carries immense meaning. For Jews, it's where Abraham prepared to sacrifice Isaac and where God's presence dwelled within the Holy of the Holies. For Muslims, it marks the Prophet Muhammad's ascension to heaven during the night journey. And for Christians, it connects directly to the biblical temples and the life of Jesus. So fast forward now to the Crusades. When Christian forces captured Jerusalem in 1099, the Dome of the Rock was renamed Templum Domini, the Temple of the Lord. The Knights Templar even established their headquarters nearby in what they called the Temple of Solomon. Legends grew that they searched beneath the mount for hidden treasures and even perhaps the famous Ark of the Covenant itself. If they found it or not still remains a mystery. So today the Temple Mount remains a flashpoint of faith and history, revered, disputed and endlessly fascinating. Whether seen as a resting place of the Ark, the site of Muhammad's ascension, or the holiest ground of Judaism, it's a place that still resonates today and where religions collide. And just like any good detective, we've collected the video, the audio and even flagged a few persons of interest. But before we dive into the suspects, let's walk through the footage itself. Incredibly, we've managed to obtain 7 videos that allegedly all capture the same event at the same time. The date is the 28th of January 2011 and the time is around 1 AM in the morning. This is evidence DJ01, which is the most well known of them all and went viral, hitting mainstream media and racking up over 2.5 million views to the YouTube channel.
Whoa!
It was uploaded by Eligel Gedalyevich and his friend Golan Aldif, who is seen here holding up their mobile phone. And here in the footage we see multiple lights rotating in the sky, which we've enhanced here just to show them better.
יש קבוצה שלמה שם, תראה.
The second clip, evidence as DJ02, shows the footage from Golan Ardif's phone at the same location as the first clip. Take particular note of the flash. We'll come back to that later. And again, Gollum records the light anomalies in the sky, which we've enhanced here for your convenience. In this clip, almost 10 kilometres north from our first two witnesses, are these group of Israeli teenagers being driven to a unique vantage point from where one of the most compelling video footage is captured. Here you see the object up close and very clear, hovering over the Dome of the Rock. The location and the people in this vehicle are important to remember. So stay tuned for the analysis, because it is here that this agency finds its first, never seen before, bombshell evidence. This piece of footage was captured on video from the terrace of a hotel known as the Regency. The source of the footage is only known as the Palestinian and cannot be traced back to anyone in particular. Note the very deliberate and kind of robotic camera shake. That's not natural, that's edited.
Is that a UFO? Amazing. Holy shit.
Captured by a group of American tourists, this is the first of two remarkable videos filmed very close to the Dome of the Rock. Now we reveal this second, never seen before footage that contains explosive evidence. Pay close attention to what this woman is saying and to the position of the object at the exact moment.
Oh, is that cool? You can almost hardly look at it.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like
Yeah, there's something.
The upcoming analysis is set to blow the case wide open. And just watch this one.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like
In this second video, shot by the same group of tourists in the same location, we see a completely different UFO from the one before. Plus, we also hear our friend from Tennessee stating that she's seen them in Mississippi before. But again, the bombshell evidence has been exposed. Have you spotted the anomaly yet? Join me for the last of the 7 videos, and this one is truly remarkable, and probably not for the right reasons. You'll see that there is a reason why we had to show a disclaimer, and just fast forward quickly the boring bits and get to the meat of this. So a monk comes out, this is 1 o'clock in the morning, remember. He looks at us. Oh, could that be Ardif, I wonder? It could be. And then he walks on, ignoring the guy, drops his keys. The guy walks over to retrieve the keys, but doesn't think to say, "Excuse me, Mr. Monk, you seem to have dropped your keys." No, he just allows him to continue to walk. And then we have the wonderful CGI UFO appearing, which is nowhere near the Dome of the Rock, by the way. It's quite small in the background. But it flies over, and yeah, a very close look at a very good piece of CGI. And what about that monk? Is that Ardif? So you've seen the evidence of these 7 videos, and in fact there were another couple that I found, but they were so terrible I just really could not bring myself to feature them on this channel. So let's now go through the analysis of those videos very quickly, and then show you beyond reasonable doubt that unfortunately this incident never happened. What we're going to do now is a quick analysis under 2 minutes of the first video. First of all, on their video, the Dome of the Rock position is a bit questionable. You can see there the arrow is pointing to kind of this object here. However, that there appears to me to be the Dome of the Rock. It's dome shaped and it's more illuminated. Being one of the most sacred sites on planet Earth, I would imagine it would have been the most lit up object as well. So that's the first problem. That is not Temple Mount. And then we get the object descending slowly. So this becomes the next problem. Why is the object which is here not directly over the top of the Dome of the Rock? That's where it is. It's not over here. Then we see the first of our two first flashes. So here's the first flash. You can see it's quite boxy. This whole area here is illuminated. Sky, ground, but cuts off here and cuts off quite abruptly here. And the second flash is less remarkable. It's very more localized. So just take you through the both. Flash 1 and flash 2. The next observation is the object speed. The object moves away within 8 frames, as I've calculated. So to try and estimate the speed, we have to try and guess the height. The Dome of the Rock is roughly 67 feet high. And I've done my calculations and I've now calculated that the distance of the objects up here on frame 8 is roughly 1,608 feet. So according to my mathematics, at 6,617 kilometers per hour, that is hypersonic velocity, which is reaching around 5.4 Mach. So the anomalies we have in this clip are the first flash and the speed. And here we come to the first bombshell piece of evidence. On the 28th of January 2011, at approximately 0100 hours, Gadalovich claims that he was at Harman-Hanatsiv, 5.8 kilometers south of the Dome of the Rock, standing with his friend Golan Ardif, who is seen here filming the descending UFO in evidence artifact DJ-01. Yet evidence DJ-03 places 3 teenagers at Mount Scopus, 4.4 kilometers north of the dome, at the same time, capturing their own footage. Now look closely at the images of Gadalovich and the teenager's driver. They are the same man. Unless Gadalovich can occupy 2 locations simultaneously, therefore mastering quantum entanglement, or has an identical twin, this is impossible. In a courtroom, this would constitute proof beyond reasonable doubt that this is the same individual, meaning both pieces of evidence are compromised. Our second bombshell evidence comes from analysing video artifacts DJ-05 and DJ-06. These 2 clips shot at the same time in the same place by 2 members of the same group show the UFO silently hovering over the Dome of the Rock. But listen closely. In DJ-05, an American woman is heard saying,
I think nighttime would be lovely, but is that a UFO?
"Why would she say, I think the nighttime would be lovely, but," before the other person interrupts, but why would you say that if it's not already nighttime? It's quite simple. When that line was recorded, it wasn't night at all. It was, in fact, daytime. Listen and you can hear the daytime street noise, the crowds and the traffic.
I think nighttime would be lovely, but is that a UFO? Amazing. Holy shit.
Oh, is that cool? You can almost hardly look at it.
Also, and more importantly, there are no guided tours, religious or otherwise, at the Dome of the Rock at 1 AM. The site is strictly closed to tourists at night and visiting hours for non-Muslims are limited to short daytime windows only. So why on earth would that group even be there? But that is not the real shocker. The real shock comes from the woman from Tennessee. In DJ-05, she says,
You can almost hardly look at it.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like
"We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like this," while the UFO is hovering over the dome. But in DJ06, filmed by someone else in the same group, she says the exact same line after the UFO has already vanished, and the object also looks completely different.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like that.
She says this after the UFO has departed, not whilst it's silently hovering over the dome, like it was in DJ05 evidence. The same woman cannot deliver the same sentence at two different moments in time. That just doesn't happen. This is clear evidence of manipulation, and once again, the footage is compromised and must be dismissed. Now we move into the persons of interest. Using open source intelligence techniques, we've conducted every background check available in the public domain. In a previous video we go into this in a lot more detail, but for this video we're going to keep it brief. So we're going to focus on the evidence that establishes links between the individuals already mentioned. Our first subject is Eligel Gedaldevich. From the outset, he appears to have been the primary architect of this entire project. Records show he relocated to Hod Sharan in 2020, approximately 69 kilometers from Jerusalem, and previously studied at Tel Aviv University. He also owned a production company and has a background as an actor. Details that become highly relevant once we start connecting the dots. Further checks reveal multiple Facebook accounts, an expired domain name of JerusalemUFO.com, and a YouTube channel with just over 1,000 subscribers. He was married in 2005, and his wife appears to have been involved with a professional YouTuber training course as recently as 2020. Taken together, this production experience and his connection to our second person of interest raise significant concerns, which will become clearer as we go on. We have attempted to contact Eligel repeatedly, both recently and in previous years, because every person is given the opportunity to provide their account, but to date he has not responded. But what would be his motivation? Well, he's only got 1,000 subscribers, but that has 2.5 million views, so that could be one possibility. The video also hit mainstream media all over the world, which brings him the kudos of being able to do that. And maybe he was testing everybody's ability to spot a fake. Unfortunately, under close scrutiny, I think we already proved that the truth will always come out. The next person of interest is Golem Ardif. Although information is limited on him and there are no known photos, he is known to be a fellow former actor and associate with Gedaldevich, which was highlighted by a HuffPost, CBS News, Channel 10 and a Jerusalem Post. It is also worth pointing out that Ardif was also a film teacher who taught students at his local university. When Ardif was asked if he knew of or was connected to the students who took the footage in DJ03, he originally denied it, but it was proven that the students in DJ03 did indeed attend classes run by Ardif, making the final connection. And remember, we have already proven beyond doubt that Gedaldevich was the driver seen in DJ03 footage. Again, that is a solid connection. This now casts serious doubts on the provenance and strength of his own video evidence. Therefore, it must be dismissible as evidence. The third Dome on the Rock UFO video was created by a group of Israeli teenagers studying media production. Their footage was initially presented as unrelated spontaneous recording, but analysis later showed that they were taught by Golem Ardif, the same film teacher who had previously worked with Gedaldevich. My investigation confirms that Gedaldevich was actually driving the teenagers' car at the time their video was filmed, making it impossible for him to have been with Ardif simultaneously. This connection, combined with shared stylistic markers across the videos, strongly suggests the recordings were not independent events but products of a small, interconnected filmmaking circle. Therefore, this video can also be discounted as evidence. So, what about the other videos? Were they all part of the same operation, or did different people get involved? I'll break this down properly in the conclusion, but here's a short version. Videos 5 and 6 are confirmed edits. Video 4 has no supporting witnesses and shows some painfully obvious artificial camera shake effects. In video 7, well, that one is so over the top it barely deserves a mention, and yet it was apparently uploaded by Jadalowicz himself. When you step back and look at the whole collection, none of these clips hold up. Not to scrutiny, not to time, not even to the most basic analysis. In my view, it's a huge amount of effort for very little reward. Evening all. So now we come to the part of the video where we discuss the conclusions and the evidence. Based on evidence gathered, the pattern is unmistakable. The footage, the timelines, the evidence, the people all point to just one conclusion, that unfortunately this was hoaxed. Jadalowicz remains the central figure, appearing across multiple videos and placing himself at the heart of the narrative, and of course maintaining control of the material released. Ardy's involvement, I think, is slightly different. I think he genuinely wanted to be part of the project to begin with, but he comes across to me, in the way he's been hiding from the public, that he had second thoughts after it kind of went global and kind of retreated himself. If I were a betting man, I'd probably think that he probably regrets being involved in this project to begin with. And what of the teenagers? Well, they were just impressionable teenagers doing something fun that their film teacher, Ardiv, recommended they do. Maybe it was sold to them as a bit of a project to see how good the technology could be and how far they could push people's belief systems. Who knows, but I think their motive is more about curiosity and creativity rather than any malice behind it. But I do wonder how they feel about it now. This investigation is not about blame, it's about clarity. People around the world have built beliefs, hopes and entire worldviews based on these small clips, and for them they deserve the truth. For example, I'd hate to now live my life thinking it's some sign from God, only to find out that a guy from Israel just decided to see how far he could push a lie. And just a small plea for those that were involved: come speak to us. We want to put your side across and try and settle the story once and for all. You must have had your reasons and your motives, and who are we to judge you at that time for doing so? But let's set the record straight now. Let's put this to bed and settles everybody's curiosity. Until we hear from those people to hear their side, we're going to categorise this as a hoax. A well-constructed hoax, but a hoax nonetheless. And for those that wish to go deeper into the evidence, we've got another video we released in 2024 which goes in a lot more granular detail. It even goes through the size of the object would have been, it goes through the audio evidence a bit more, and it goes into some of the people that upload the footage and a bit about those too. So if you want that deeper dive, go and watch that video. It's 47 minutes long. This was meant to be a shorter version just to get to the main crux of the bombshell evidence, but if you want that deeper dive, feel free to go and look at that video. But in the meantime, and as ever, we'll keep asking those questions that you deserve and we demand. Take care. And remember, we don't just bring the news, we want to hear from you too. If you've got anything to report to us, please visit our website and get in touch.